Hello and welcome to Gradient's weekly roundup of key business and financial developments in Sri Lanka for the week ending 29 July 2022. I'm Nishani Figuera and here are the top stories for this week. Revised budget in August. IMF says Sri Lanka should proactively engage China on debt restructuring. Sri Lanka asks for more support from China. Fuel under QR system pushed to next month. Over 28,000 tourists in the first 19 days of July. We will also briefly look at other notable news that made it across to our news desk and wrap up with the capital markets update. In our main story this week, on Tuesday, Bandula Gunawardena, Minister of Transport, Highways and Mass Media, stated that a revised budget for the remainder of the year would be presented in Parliament in August. In May, the Prime Minister's office stated that it expects revenue for the year to fall to 1.6 trillion rupees and expenditure to increase to 4 trillion rupees, widely off the original estimates. The fiscal deficit increased to 524.1 billion rupees in the first 4 months of 2022 compared to 520.5 billion rupees in the same period. Also on Tuesday, Krishna Srinivasan, Director IMF's Asia and Pacific Department, speaking to Reuters, said that Sri Lanka should proactively engage with China on debt restructuring while it seeks financing from the IMF. He added that the island nation has to discuss a debt workout with its private and bilateral creditors to ensure debt sustainability is restored. In an interview with Reuters, Palitha Kohana, Sri Lanka's ambassador to China, stated that Sri Lanka is asking China to help with the country's trade, investment and tourism, with specific requests for Chinese companies to increase purchase of black tea, sapphire, spices and garments. Sri Lanka has also requested China to make import rules more transparent and easier to navigate. Further investment in the Colombo and Hambantota ports and more Chinese tourists were also encouraged. Fuel issuance under the QR code system will commence on Monday, 1st of August. Kanchana Wijayasekara, Minister of Power and Energy, stated that companies can register multiple vehicles with their business registration and that three-wheelers will be allocated one specific fuel station. Motorists will receive fuel worth 1,500 rupees for bikes, 2,000 rupees for three-wheelers and 7,000 rupees for other vehicles. The minister also mentioned that an advertisement calling for expression of interest for oil companies to import, distribute and sell petroleum products in Sri Lanka was also published. According to the SLTDA, tourist arrivals during the first 19 days of July were 28,733. The UK was the largest source market, followed by India and Germany. In 2022, cumulatively, 440,110 tourists have visited the country. However, the reimposition of a state emergency in the country is likely to affect travel and tour operators in promoting Sri Lanka. Apparel exports in June reached an all-time high of $537 million, exceeding the previous record of $504 million in May 2019. In the first half this year, $2.8 billion of apparel was exported. The United States were the main buyer, followed by the EU and the UK. Meanwhile, the BOI signed agreements worth $76 million in 2022 for new investments and expansions in the sector. Now let's take a look at the weekly movement of the All-Share Price Index and the S&P SL20 Index at the Colombo Stock Exchange. At the Treasury bill auction held on Wednesday, yields on all term maturities continue to ease from a week earlier. Of the 183 billion rupees worth of bids, 85 billion rupees were accepted. Here's how the rupee performed against the dollar this week. In other market news, Dialog Axiata received a $150 million loan from the International Finance Corporation to expand and improve its network capacity. And finally, Sri Lankan Airlines serviced the interest on its 7% $175 million bond within the 30-day grace period post the due date of 24th June. And that's a wrap for this week. Follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube for more updates on business and financial developments in Sri Lanka. Until we see you again next week, thank you for watching. Stay safe.